The greatest railway in the world. The greatest railway in the world is not from Berlin to Baghdad, from the Cape to Cairo, nor from Alaska to Buenos Aires. It is the railway that runs underground through the catacombs of New York City. Few realize what an enormous, complicated, and delicate task it is to operate what is known as the subway. From a recent statement issued by the company, I gleaned the following facts, which were startling to me and maybe to you. The subway trains run 24 hours a day. Out of the confusion of traffic, beneath the crowded streets, these trains speed like rapid shuttles, weaving the great human traffic, the city. The subway carries 1,350,000 passengers a day. 900,000 of them ride in the rush hours, between 6 and 9 in the morning and 4 and 7 in the afternoon. The subway, with 136 miles of track, holds more than 2.5 times as many passengers as the number hauled by the Pennsylvania Railroad with its 26,000 miles of track. And the Pennsylvania stretches through 13 states and the District of Columbia, while the subway is in one city alone. Just north of the 96th Street station, a train passes over the subway switches every 26 seconds during the busiest hour. 15,000 people are carried by the subway to Times Square, the heart of the theatre district, for the matinees. The night theatre crowd numbers about 18,000. The morning rush hour begins at 5:48 o'clock, when the 10-car trains are put on. Running the subway requires an accurate knowledge of that all-important but intangible thing known as the law of averages. For instance, the trainmaster says, "We must know approximately how many passengers to expect at each station in the morning rush and at what time. We must, for instance, know how many people take the train at 116th Street station between 7 and 8. If we didn't, our service would lack the regularity and smoothness necessary to handle these millions daily. An unexpected crowd delays a train." The slightest delay to one train affects the whole system, which is as nicely adjusted as a watch. A subway train can never make up time during rush hours, as the line is so crowded that from 96th Street south there is a headway of only a minute and a half. The handling of this enormous number of passengers smoothly and efficiently is one of the marvels in this age of marvels. On New Year's Day, try again. The gist of New Year's Day is try again. That's why it rolls around once a year. That's why we hang a new calendar on the wall and lay a fresh diary on the desk. The markings of time have their spiritual significance. Every clock tick means that life is not one big rush, one grand gamble, where our all is staked upon some one issue, but it's a step-by-step process, and there are as many opportunities every 24 hours as there are seconds. That is to say that the situation changes daily 86,400 times. Every clock stroke says another hour is gone, a new hour is mine, and it may be better than the last. At any rate, whatever we have to do, it's only 1 hour at a time. Life as a lump is too much for any of us. It is a burden to break any man's back. But 1 hour, we can stand that, and that is all we have to stand. So come on, boys, we'll go through 1 hour of it, and we will not tackle the second hour until it comes to meet us. Every day is a new life. Every evening is a day of judgment. Every morning is a resurrection. One day is all there is to it, and that isn't so much. We don't have to eat a whole beef, just a slice, nor to drink up the river, just a glassful, nor to jump a mile, just a step at a time. And all these minor markings are lumped and emphasized by New Year's Day. The past year is gone. It's dead. We are living. The past is God's. The future is ours. All our mistakes, humiliations, failures, follies, and stupidities, our jealousies and heartbreaks, our wounds and bruises, all the whole league of miseries that make life lame and weary, all are gone, swallowed up in that big black hole we call the past, submerged in the same dark waters where lie Caesar and his legions, Abelard and Helois, Solomon and Tubal-Cain. On New Year's Day, let us put on our mourning faces. Let us begin again with all things new, babies and chicks, furry kittens and cubs, youth and adventure. The sun is climbing. The winds write from heaven. Love is newborn daily while hate grows old. Come, kiss and make up. Drop the past as your night garment and put on the fresh clothing of hope. Wash your face in the cool waters of faith. It's ever running, runs out from under the great white throne, and runs through the city streets. Come, no more tears and regrets. Take your hat, old friend, and come with me. We'll go and meet the adventurous future. Undismayed and unafraid, we'll greet the new year. Tennyson's Theology. Dear Sir, writes a gentleman from New Jersey, I have read your article of some time ago, and I wish to state I believe I have a natural right to ask, why does your almighty and all-merciful God, who created the universe and even the glittering stars, allow his Christian children to perpetuate this horrible slaughter in Europe? It will not do to say it is his way, etc. It is human judgment and reason that this is infamous and hideous. Shall we, in this enlightened 20th century, worship, honor, and love this God? Answer. This is a free country, and you don't have to believe in God if you don't want to. But suppose you don't, then what? If the world is not managed by a good God, then 1. It must be controlled by a vicious God, or 2. By no God at all, or 3. By the devil, or 4. By the devil and God in competition. All these theories have been held at various times and by different cults. They haven't given much satisfaction. Most intelligent people fall back to the belief that there must be a good God, although there are many things in the ways of providence that we cannot understand. Tennyson's lines probably express our common conviction as concisely as possible. Oh, yet we trust that somehow good will be the final goal of ill. We trust, we do not know. We believe, because to believe anything else is infinitely worse. There is no alternative. To believe God is vicious would make this a horrible and sinister world. To believe that the universe is purely material, with no divine, far-off event to which the whole creation moves, would make of it what Carlyle calls a huge immeasurable steam engine, rolling on in its dead indifference to grind me limb from limb. The presence of evil in the world is something nobody understands. Whately called it the problem of the ages. But after all, it is because of that, not in spite of it, that we believe in the eternal goodness. Our moral sense forces us to the conclusion that somehow right and justice must prevail. It is in the bosom of man, not in the events of the world, that the seat of God is. We do not argue that there is a good governor of all things, because all things are pleasant and right. We believe there must be a good purpose overruling all, because so many things apparently prove the contrary. We follow our inextinguishable instincts, rather than our limited powers of observation and logic, because we are essentially moral beings. We have to believe in goodness almighty, simply because to believe anything else presents 100-fold more difficulties. Tennyson's In Memoriam is pretty good theology. Hold thou the good define it well, for fear divine philosophy should push beyond her mark and procure us to the lords of hell. When I am gone. When I am gone, that is the end of the world. All its movements, of government, of wars, of business, of social redemption, of eugenics and women's rights, of church, of art, of education, of finance, sport, romance, vengeance. The whole boiling kettle of human affairs will have disappeared, and, like an insubstantial fabric vanished, leave not a rack behind. What do I care about the end of the world? The end of me is the end of the world. When I am gone, so many things will make no matter. The kisses of hot lips, the yearning of full breasts, the fires of passion, the impatience, the eagerness, the monomania, the quick breathing and aching heart. Just a little handful of cold ashes of memory when I am gone. No more my footstep in the hall, my key rattling in the front door, my chair ready by the lamp, my bureau drawer full of neckties, my coats hanging in the closet, my desk cluttered with papers and books, the smell of my pipe through the house. No more me, nor the accoutrements of me. How long will it take the ripples to die away on the water when the pebble me has dropped in? How long before all is again as it was before I was? How long before my name sounds strange, and curious people try to recall, and say, "Oh yes, I did hear my grandmother speak of him once"? When I am gone, who will use my French dictionary, a red book, coloured like a meerschaum by much handling? And what will become of my little black address book, and my fountain pen, and my desk clock? I use them every day now. I love them, yet I know they are all trollops, and will serve the next man as gladly. When I am gone, whither will all these molecules fly that make up my body? My congregation of atoms will break up. They will scatter from Ponkapog to Pest. "School's out," they'll cry, and run away. I am concerned about this world, as well as about myself, when I am gone. Think of the suns rising day after day, and know me to see them. Of trees greening in spring, and my heart not there to leap. Of good jokes, and no laughter from me. Of pretty faces, and no eye of mine to brighten. The world is good, and it is mine. What will it do without me? I stew and fret, I hope and fear, I strive, I think things are so important. But when I am gone, what's the difference? When I am gone, why so hot, little man? Why worry?